Hi, this is Dr. Siegfried, and thanks again for coming to my YouTube video on home health care. Today we're going to be talking about something that is a real problem for patients that are in pain, especially what we call acute pain, which means pain just comes on from an accident or an injury. And we're going to talk about hot versus cold, or heat versus cold. This is a bag of frozen peas. This is a bottle of frozen water. I'm not even going to show the heating pad because there's two issues here, hot or cold. When you have an injury, you want to put cold on it, whether it's ice, like a bag of frozen peas, put this in the small of your back like you would a rolled up towel. This is ice. You could get a nice soft Jello ice bag, but the point is when you have an acute problem or a problem where you're really hurting, a lot of inflammation, you want to put ice on it. You want to make sure you have something over your skin between you and the ice bag so you don't burn your skin, but you want ice, and I'll tell you why. When you use ice, everything is constricting down, everything is being squeezed. All the swelling, inflammation, all the waste products of the area that's injured are being squeezed out. After about 15-20 minutes, everything gets totally relaxed, and then the vessels, we call them, they dilate, which means they open back up and they start to allow fresh blood in very, very slowly. So initially, all the waste material gets squeezed out, which we call vasoconstriction, and then after about 15 or 20 minutes, they relax because the nervous system will allow it to relax, and then it vasodilates the area that's injured, and the fresh blood starts to trickle back in for the nourishing effect. That's just the opposite of what happens when you use a heating pad. When you use a heating pad on an injury, it's already swollen and inflamed. You put a heating pad on there, it starts to swell even more. And it feels really, really good when the heat is on there. Really good. So people stay on it for a long time. Sometimes they'll sleep on it overnight. What happens is this. It gets real swollen. And then within a day or two, it's so bad you can hardly move because you wake up stiff, hurting, etc. And a lot of times people think, oh, it's because my back's hurt. They'll even go on and put more heat on it. So it's like it swells up like a big balloon, like back here in the area that's injured. And then when all that waste material tries to get out, it's like 50 cars trying to get off of one freeway exit at a time. Doesn't happen. So you're stiff, sore, worse and worse, and then you might go see a doctor. And here's what happened just recently. This lady took a real long trip in her car, 1,000 miles, came back and did some exercises that she's accustomed to doing. Then she did a lot of yard work because the weather's nice around here right now. What happened was she could feel it coming on, the soreness. So she thought, well, I'll just put some heat on there and I'll just cook it out of there, which she did for 2 days. And it got worse and worse and worse. So when she came to see me, she could hardly move. And she's been a patient before, so I was able to adjust her. We put an ice bag on her and I showed her some traction maneuvers. And by the time she left the clinic, she was feeling much better, probably because of two things. We put ice on it for a good half hour. We adjusted her, showed her a traction maneuver, and she felt so much better she couldn't believe it. So the moral of the story is, when you're hurting with an acute injury, or even if it's a chronic injury that's flared up, the rule of thumb is to protect yourself is try ice, because the ice is going to be constricting down. On the other side of the coin, the heat's going to be swelling it up. So that's the lesson for today. Bag of frozen peas, bag of frozen mixed vegetables will work. This will work in the small of the back, to put the curve in the back if you need to, or in the neck. You can get the Jello ice bags at the pharmacy for a couple bucks, I don't know, 10 bucks or so, and you can use that. Remember, hot or cold, when in doubt, use cold. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time.